We are live. Friezomatic, aka Freezeforms, is here with me today. How
How
are
you
you
doing?
today? Good, man.
Doing all right.
Good. Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here. Quite an honor, actually.
Thank you. Well, you want to tell me where are you talking to me from right now?
I'm at my house in Menifee, just hanging in the kitchen with the dog sleeping on the floor.
That's cool, man. So you've got like a little bit bigger of a piece of property out there, right?
It's just under a quarter acre, and I got a tiny
Rad.
house, so I got a lot more land than I do house, which is way cool with me because I spend all my time out there anyways.
That's rad, man. Yeah, when I was talking to you yesterday to prepare for the show, I was saying that you seemed like the type of person that enjoys their solitude. And I think that's really cool, because I don't get a lot of solitude. So I'm fascinated by people that like do things like what you do, going out on single missions, hiking, collecting crystals and rocks and gems and all that. I think it's a really cool way of life, man.
Oh, well, thanks. I just honestly, I stopped waiting for other people.
Yeah.
You invite people and everyone bails usually. It's not necessarily their fault, but things come up and things happen. But I just stopped waiting, and like it's if I'm not going to go, then it's not going to get done. So
You can always rely on yourself.
exactly. And now I got a
Absolutely.
dog to go with me too.
Hell yeah. That's cool. So
So I've been
where
out on like little hikes, getting longer and longer, like every couple weeks. So
well, how kind of distances you doing?
let's say we did 6 miles the other day. So it was about maybe 3.5, 4 hours.
Gnarly.
A lot of a lot of up and downhill rocky stuff. I want to get her to the point where I can take her out like overnight camping and stuff too. So, she's gonna have to start wearing a backpack eventually.
Yeah. Getting her in shape, training her, huh?
Oh yeah.
That's dope, dude. And do I'm just curious, you doing like any other exercise outside of that, or is that where you get most of your exercise?
I haven't trained in a good while, but I've boxed for most of my adult life since I was
Hmm.
about 19 years old. So, I mean, I guess I'm pretty much always in shape, kind of, because I'm still
Yeah.
always doing things. I'm not one of these people that sits still. So,
Yeah.
I'm always moving rocks, doing something, moving something around somewhere, digging a hole.
That's awesome, dude. And you are you on foot delivering mail when you work for the post office, or are you?
Fortunately not. I have had one of those routes, and they are a little rough because you got to carry all your stuff on one side of your body while you're doing everything. On the other
Crazy.
hand, I did have that for a while. I'm
Wow.
kind of glad I don't, because I enjoy doing my stuff outside of work and not being tired afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. I really admire those people, man. And you look at their calves and they're fucking giant always. No, it's like
Oh
got
yeah,
muscular calves. I'm like,
oh yeah.
damn, dude,
The
gangsters.
guy. There's one old guy like he chooses that route like every time like they periodically they move everybody around and like he gets the option to go back to that route and he always goes back to it. Like he enjoys the walking, he wants the walking. Man, this guy is like the most fit guy you've ever seen. Like he's just like tall and nothing but like muscle and bone,
Yeah.
like, and his legs are just gigantic.
Yeah, dude, it's a gangster ass job. That's cool, dude. So where did you grow up at?
I grew up in Moreno Valley, not too far from here actually, and kind of by Riverside,
Okay.
by March Air Force Base. So not like the greatest area, but not not the worst.
Mm, mm.
There
And
was
where
definitely my fair share of running home from school in junior high school.
okay. A
So
little bit of troublemaking.
no, not necessarily. Just trying to stay out of trouble.
Oh, okay. I see.
You know.
I, oh, running home from school to stay safe.
Yeah, I was like, all right, it's time to get
Ah,
out of here.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, it can get rough out there for sure. Like I've had some sketchy encounters in the IE.
Oh yeah, it's not. I remember being like a kid and like having a full grown adult try and like steal my bike like in the middle of the day.
Fuck.
Like man, what do you do? Like I was just like no, and I just tried to ride away. Like I mean, what else do you do?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, well that builds character for sure.
But no, I think that's why I started boxing when I did. Like I moved out of Moreno Valley and at 19 or 20, and I moved to Temecula. I didn't know anybody, so I just kind of joined a boxing gym. I'm not sure why that was the natural course, but
Hmm.
yeah, that was that, and it's been that ever since.
Hell yeah, man. That's dope. And where did what came first, the fascination with rocks and crystals or
Oh,
plants?
oh, I was that kid that had rocks in his pockets, and I just never grew out of it.
That's
I
cool, dude.
just, oh God, I found better rocks now. Like I know the difference between a rock and a mineral and a crystal. As you know, I was just that kid. Like my
Oh.
mom was always mad at me. She'd throw the clothes in the washer, and like you hear the rocks banging around in the washing. She's yelling my name, Andrew.
Wow. Where did that
Uh,
come from, do you think?
I was always just kind of like I said, I've always been like into like secluded stuff. Like I always just kind of did my own thing. I said I learned really early. I'm not waiting for anybody.
Hmm.
Um, if I want to do it, I'm just going to go do it. And if you want to come, you can come.
Cool,
So
dude.
like, I was always digging around in the backyard thinking I found treasures and shit from like the construction sites and all that. And my parents didn't discourage it. So I always thought it was a good thing. And then it just kind of led to like, we'd go out camping and I'd go off on my own and like start digging around, thinking I knew what I was looking for. Like, oh, I'm gonna go find these fossils. There's fossils out here. I just know it. And of course there's nothing out there. It's just this field that's been excavated, however many times for camping purposes.
Hmm.
I didn't know that. And that just kind of went into like learning about the rocks and how like the minerals and crystals form, the tectonic activity and the pressures and heats and all that. And yeah, instead I never grew out of that. I've got like there's a 50-50 chance I've got a rock in my pocket at any given time.
Self-taught too, man. That's rad.
Yeah, it's just if I'm into it, I'm into it. Like I'm one of those people, it's all or nothing.
Hmm.
So like I definitely got into it. I got all the gem books, the rock hounding books, I don't know, everything you could think of to find a rock.
Very cool. Yeah, I've become increasingly more interested in this. I took a geology class just strictly because I have a science requirement for school. And man, I actually thought of you. I was just telling you that before the podcast. And like this stromatolite, it's something I've been fascinated with stromatolites forever because my understanding, I don't know that it's accurate, but it's like one of the earliest recorded life forms of like algae, right?
It,
Multicellular
it totally is.
life forms, right? Yeah. And I think I learned about that on like National Geographic when I was a kid. And I was like, oh, I want one, I want one, I want one. I've always wanted one. And then you presented it as a trade at the show. And like, dude, I was so stoked. I was beaming all day. I love it.
Oh yeah, I remember how stoked you were about it. Like you're one of the first people that I've showed that to that knew what it was. Like most people are like, a what? I'm like, that's kind of a cool bubbly rock. Like, no, it's a fossil, and you tell them it's a stromatolite and it was a living thing. They're actually still alive. You can find them.
Okay.
There's one place off the coast of Australia. It's like super protected. Like you can't go there, but they're there.
Hmm.
Yeah, total living fossils, stromatolites.
Now, about how old do you know? Like anything, any of the background information on something like this? Like how old?
Um, I don't know necessarily that piece because it
Sure.
was a piece I had, gotten through another person's collection. Like, a person passed away and I get part of this collection from them, an old friend of mine or something.
Hmm.
And they had the information, but I don't know where they had it. So I couldn't really tell you anything specifically, but I mean, a lot of those stromatolites said they're some of the oldest life forms on Earth. So they're, billions of year old fossils.
Yeah,
Like they've gone through a lot to get to our shelves where they are.
that's really cool, dude. Hell yeah. And so you've been collecting always?
Oh yeah, I've always had a rock collection. Like it's this weird, like when every time I've had to move, it's like, dude, what do you have in here? It's a box of rocks. Like, sorry,
Hmm.
it's 5 pounds of box.
Huh.
Like good size stuff like this. It starts to add up when
Yeah.
you start filling them up and wrapping them up.
What's that one?
So this is anthracite coal.
Okay.
It's actually a really light rock. Um, it's a basically a collector's piece of coal,
Hmm.
and not the
I
coal you burn to light a fire.
I incorrectly assumed it was tourmaline.
Um, it's a common. A lot of people just think like a black rock is tourmaline, but there's
Yeah.
a ton of rocks out there. Obsidians, you know, smoky quartz. I've got a giant smoky quartz right here as well.
Smoky quartz. What causes it to not be like transparent and smoky?
So like when the crystallization process happens, like for like the quartz and stuff, like there's liquid and gases trapped inside, and as they're escaping, like during the crystallization process, the less gas you have in there, the more clear and pure your crystal. The more gases and liquids, the less transparent that crystal is going to be, and it's going to be more saturated like this one.
Cool.
So
what's the oldest one you've got? Do you know?
as far as like fossils go,
Sure.
I don't know. I've got like some megalodon teeth. I've got a ton of ammonites. Probably would have been the stromatolite.
Yeah. Cool. Megalodon. So that's like the old school, the ancient giant shark, right?
Yeah, and I've got a few of these guys'
Wow,
teeth.
dude.
This is the only complete one I have. I've got a bunch of halves.
That's fucking crazy. It's huge.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I know a lot of people that are into these things, so I do trades with them. And like, I have something they want, they have something I want, and it's easy come, easy go.
Now you do have a separate page from your Friezomatic page called Freeze Forms, right? And there you do offer what is it that you offer there?
So I make these little rock pots. I go for like the whole natural look. Plants just kind of sitting in the ground, and you just kind of plucked it and put it on your shelf, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was actually inspired by Tony Prickly Punk. I saw his, and he didn't sell them at the time. I wanted to get one for my mom, and because she really liked them, and he's like, yeah, no, I don't sell them, they're kind of my own thing. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm just gonna make one for my mom. And then that turned into making them for other people and making them for myself as well.
Dope. What kind of a process is that?
So I basically I use a rubberized mortar. It's real easy, it's super easy. If anybody is interested, I could totally like just DM me, I'll totally tell you how it's done.
Cool.
It's really cool, you can make your own thing. Like I like to do it myself kind of more anymore, but I totally offer them up. But yeah, it's just a rubberized glue. I mix it with like paper sand and like DG gravel, like sifted stuff. I just mix it up so it's a nice consistency, kind of put my rocks together little by little, and fill that in with a little more rocks how I want, depending on how I want to look.
Very
like
cool.
Top both rocks. So
very cool. And you do sometimes part with some of these other items as well, right? Like the megalodon. I saw you had some posted some stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've got plenty of these things, and I can get more. So if it's something people want, like I can easily get them for people. Yeah.
Something interesting that you said to me was that that trades were more meaningful to you, something along those lines. That because I was trying to get some rocks from you and ultimately did, but you had told me that trades were more meaningful to you.
Oh, absolutely. Like I would rather like meet you and like learn about what you want to trade and like talk to you, like, hey, what do you want to trade me? Let's see what you have like that you would be willing to part with, and tell me about it. I want to know, where did you get it? What's up with it? Like tell me what you know, that I know I can tell you what you know. And it's more of a just like, especially with like the plant community, it's more of a getting to know each other kind of thing, is more of like, instead of a transaction.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather not just have a bunch of transactions. I'd rather meet a bunch of cool people and like, share my knowledge and like get some of their knowledge. Like I might learn something that I never even knew about. Like I've talked to a lot of people from this community, and it's been great. Like I've learned a lot of things about things that I had like I've never interested in before, but like now I've learned these little tidbits, and I'm like, oh, that is pretty interesting. There's a lot more to that than I ever thought, kind of thing. And it's just from doing trades with them, taking my thing and, exchanging it for theirs.
That's beautiful. There's like a connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like that.
Like I still have the cactus I got for you from that trade is out there in my greenhouse, and it's doing really well. So
hell yeah.
And, that's something I'll have longer than any cash you would have ever given me.
Right. Totally. Cool. And where did the plants come into your story?
Going out and collecting rocks. Like how are these plants like growing out here? It's super hot. Like, it's dry, it's windy. There's nothing out here. It doesn't rain. And when it does rain, it dries up. It doesn't go any deeper than a few inches in the surface. So I started kind of like looking into a lot of these plants, like, how are they growing out here? And just started from there. And my grandma was always like, my grandma was one of those old people that had a lot of plants too.
Okay.
I remember my very experience with a cactus was grabbing a giant monkey tail because I didn't know better. I thought it was just going to be this fluffy, cool cactus. And then I remember sitting there for like an hour while my grandma, my mom picked all those little like spines out of my hand.
Oh, I didn't realize that they come out.
Oh yeah, if you grab them hard enough, they do.
Can't say I
Like
ever
they got
grabbed
like the
one.
little hair ones underneath the bottom too. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
no, I remember. But no, like getting in, going out and prospecting and like digging stuff up and making sure I wasn't like disturbing things, because you go out and like the whole thing is to leave it as close to how you found it.
Mm.
Like I am taking like minerals and stuff, but I'm not taking pounds of stuff with me. I'm taking like a couple pocketfuls of what I can carry. Um, but I'm careful. I started learning about like, okay, maybe I shouldn't like dig here because these plants are growing here. Like I don't know about these plants. And then some of the plants do fight back, so you learn to just not dig there anyways.
Mm. Is there some? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, is there some like ethical principles for conservation in the rock world as there is with like protecting and conserving cactus?
Sometimes it depends who you talk to.
Uh,
I'm not the kind of guy that wants to go out and find we got to go clear this area, just the three of us, and profit off of it. Like I'm going to go out and I'm going to take maybe a bucket, and that's all I can carry, and I'm probably not even going to fill that because half a bucket is really heavy.
mm.
Unless I'm getting bigger rocks, for like yard purposes or something, where it's just like limestone falling off the side of the road, kind of thing. I'm not, there is a ethicalness to it of not taking too much. I want to make sure there's more for other people to go out and collect as well.
Yeah, only taking what you need.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Totally. So you want to field some questions?
Oh, absolutely. I'm really curious about this.
I got a bunch.
Oh man.
Let's see. All right. First one comes from Plantyfur. It's not a question. Such a pleasant person. No question. LOL. Just a comment.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that.
That was sweet. Thanks, Jenny. No Palito Arte. He said, this might be asked already, but can you tell when someone is a chronic plant mail fiend?
I totally can. And I typically know the person because I end up talking to them all the time because they come out to get those packages. I always let them know, like, hey, like, what plants are you getting? Like, where are you getting them from? Like, like what plants are you into? And I've seen like a lot of my customers' collections from just like asking questions or like even leaving notes about the plants in their own yard. But no, I can totally tell when you guys order a shit ton of plant mail.
That's rad. So they're like the first people on the street, like, hey man, did I get a package?
Oh no,
today?
if I've got a package that says like live plant and it's like at the end of my route, I'll make a special like deviance to go drop that off early in the day.
Oh dude, that's dope.
Because it gets hot in the back of those trucks, dude, and I wouldn't want my plants sitting back there.
Yeah, dude. So you get invited in sometimes to see people's collections or like gifted plants?
Absolutely. That's how I met my friend Dan.
Mm.
He is a 90-year-old man who's been collecting for 40 something years, grows from seed, has an amazing greenhouse. Some people have met him from Instagram. I left him a note one day and he just invited me back and showed me this amazing greenhouse with these giant adenium and, all kinds of huge plants that are like as old as me. He's a super nice guy, really knowledgeable, like just happy to share.
Dope.
Like, so yeah, no, I totally talk to my customers about that stuff all the time.
Yeah, I think I saw you make a post about him.
Oh yeah, no, I've posted about him a few times.
Yeah, cool.
Super interesting man.
Let's see what else we got. Nenas Lenas said, how did you get into rock hounding and any tips for newbies?
Well, like I said, I was that kid that just never grew out of having the rocks in his pocket. And as far as like newbies, just go out and have fun. Find, go to like Barnes and Noble, get on Amazon, like find the local rock hounding books, get online, search up the local areas. Like there's stuff like you wouldn't even believe that's like within towns. like
Mm,
old mining dumps, like in the middle of Riverside City, that you can just go dig through and find garnets and stuff. Nothing major, but a fun thing for if you're starting out to like kind of know what you're doing and looking for.
mm.
Uh, but yeah, all the books, like read all the books you can and just go out and have a good time. Don't go out with the expectation that you're going to find something great. Just go out for, the exercise of it and to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't realize that it was called hounding. That's what they call the collection
Oh
of it.
yeah, rock hounding. We're also called rock lickers.
Rock lickers.
Because sometimes you don't know what a rock's going to look like until it gets wet, and you don't really have water sometimes out there to waste. So you just kind of lick your thumb or lick the rock.
Mm. So you can tell if it's some kind of like salt. Some
Like you're looking for like if it's like a type of agate or something that's got any kind of pattern, like the wetness will bring that out. So yeah, we're called rock hounds, rock lickers. You know,
very cool.
yeah.
What is some of like the coolest finds that you've done like personally?
I found some pretty nice pieces of petrified wood. That's like one of the easiest things you can go out and look for. So that's something like a newbie should definitely go out and try and find, because it's really easy to find. A lot of times it's kind of right there on the surface if you just kind of disturb it a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, and it's spread out enough that you do have to search.
Mm.
But there's areas you can go to, and it's just it's kind of prevalent if you know where to look and how to look for it.
Now, is some of that because of the ice age that it ends up being petrified?
No, so the petrification process it's similar to like fossilization. So a lot of times right now it's places that are like really deserty, like dry places, but those places used to be like really boggy or wet places, or a lot of times it's from volcanic like ash that covers trees, will
Mm.
petrify them as well. But these trees fall and they fall in water and silt, or they get covered with mud or something, and you need oxygen to decay. So they kind of decay underground, but they can't really deteriorate a whole lot. And so over time, like the organic matter it kind of gets switched out. Silica kind of replaces all the organic matter, and you get these different colors. Different minerals provide different colors. Eventually all the organic matter is gone, and you just have this silica stick.
I see.
Your petrified wood. But no, it's all wet places where it couldn't decay and rot like it would out here, where it gets rained on every year and then dried and rained on kind of thing.
Mm.
So we're lucky we even have some of it. I mean, honestly.
Mm.
But volcanic ash falls will totally petrify trees as well.
Mm. Now, is that a similar process to like a petrified cholla, or is that different? Like like
Um,
cholla wood, like a
so
cactus.
that's just the wood. That's just the fleshy part of the plant decaying off of the skeleton.
Mm.
That's just the woody part of the plant. I have never seen a petrified cholla. That would be fucking rad.
Okay, so it's not
Uh,
petrified; it's just dried out
yeah,
plant
the ones you
matter.
find out in the desert right now. Yeah, those are
Yeah.
just like the sticks, the skeletons of the plant.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, no, a petrified one of those would be amazing.
Let's see. Funkadelic said, "How long have you been doing mail for?"
It feels like way longer than it has.
Yeah.
But I've only been delivering mail for like 5 years.
Okay.
Um, some days it's a really awesome job. Some days, like, I walk in the building and just want to die.
Oh no.
Since the pandemic, it's been pretty bad. Um, it's been pretty much the worst year I've ever worked there.
Oh man.
But the job's got to get done.
Yeah.
Um, so we just do it.
Was there like an influx? What's causing that? A lack of funding?
So at the beginning of the pandemic, it was just everybody home ordering things.
Right. Huge
Like
influx.
our package volume like quadrupled to what we couldn't handle it. Like
Shit.
we literally had like days worth of Amazon packages sitting outside in our parking lot, because
Wow.
we couldn't get to it till we could get to it.
Wow. Yeah, I remember when the delays got really bad. It seems that you guys have figured it out though.
Everything's kind of slowed down. Something happened. I'm not sure what. We're all glad.
Yeah.
We're still working a lot, but I mean, it's definitely not as bad as it was. But it's a cool job. But this year has definitely been a different year than it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of e-commerce launched in the last couple of years too, right? Because I mean, I
Uh,
launched in the last couple of years. A lot of people I know
Totally.
did.
We have a lot of like daily pickups from like people's houses, not necessarily businesses now.
Mm,
People selling stuff from home because it's just way more economical than going somewhere and doing it and renting a big old warehouse
yeah.
when you have a garage.
Yeah, well, I think that it's one of the most underrated professions out there for sure, because we didn't realize like just how much we depend on them, even as for things like elections and stuff, but like it's so
Oh, that was a
important.
whole different thing. Oh man, that was a whole thing too.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, you wouldn't believe how many people don't like the post office, and I learned that really fast during the election.
What's their beef? I don't know. I don't get it. We don't have to get
I
into
don't
it,
know,
but
dude. It'd be people I'd be taking packages to their door, and they'd be like giving me crap. I'm like, well,
what?
here you go. Like, you're welcome.
What the
Um,
fuck?
but you just like it is what it is, and maybe that person's just having a bad day. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I remember the controversy around that, and it's whatever. But man, it's really unfortunate because that's super important, and also like I remember there was going to be like a huge cut in funding, and I was like devastated and wanting to like protest. But yeah, that and grocery stores, there's a lot of things that you don't realize. We look up to all these other professions, but we don't realize just how important all these other ones are.
Yeah, they weren't helping anybody.
Right. Yeah.
But no, it's a cool job. I like the job. I definitely enjoy it. I get to listen to music all day. Like I'm out there on my own. Uh, you know, it works well with my ADD because I don't stop moving.
Mm, mm, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. So gardening would then too, right? The gardening,
So
rock,
I
rock
typically am
climbing.
doing, yeah, I'm typically doing like multiple things at once. Like I'm building a rock pot while I've got some holes being dug over here while I'm moving rocks around, while I'm in the middle of like repotting some things. Yeah, like I said I'm a mover. Like I don't stop.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people struggle to channel that into something like what you're doing and it being positive, but it sounds like, that you're utilizing it, this
Well, it's easy
ADD.
because I have my own space now. Like it's a lot easier now. Like these last 6 months have been super easy to do that because like this is mine. Like I don't have to come. Like I don't need permission. I don't have to do something if I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh well, brain says this isn't happening right now. So
Mm, I see.
uh, it wasn't always that easy because you live with other people, you live by other people's rules.
Mm, yeah,
It's definitely a lot easier to relax with that now for sure.
that's good, man. I'm glad to
But
hear
not
it.
like having like 100 things to do.
Yeah. That's cool, man. I'm glad to hear that. May, succulent cacti lady. Sorry, May, we've answered this question, but how'd you get into rocks? The Pokey Raccoon. Oh, we answered this too. How long have you worked for USPS? And the Pokey Raccoon. When did you start collecting rocks? Where is your favorite place to rock hunt? Everyone wants to know about your rocks, dude.
Oh man, so one of my favorite places to go is actually not that far, not that exotic. It's the North Calico Mountains.
Okay.
You can find a lot of different things out there, and there's a whole bunch of different mountain ranges not too far that you can also explore. But the North Calicos are pretty like domestic. You can walk around, like you can hike them pretty easily. You can get to everything. You don't need like a 4x to get most places.
Hmm.
Um, so if I'm gonna go out somewhere like to do some serious collecting, like I like to get some petrified palm wood. That's where I'm gonna go. That's a hard one to find.
Hmm.
Um, I've gotten a lot of the large agate boulders from my yard out there. I filled up the back of my dad's F-250,
Hmm.
and I got some really nice like crystal, geodes out of those agates as well. Like really nice, like foot long geodes from them. So that's a really good spot. It's one of my favorite spots to go, and I've actually tried to take people there. So whenever people are down, they just gotta let me know.
That's very cool. I would love that agate. I like agate a lot, man. It's a beautiful one for sure.
Just, you
Cool.
gotta be ready to walk and carry a lot of rocks.
I'm down. I'm down with it. I like to hike. So cool.
And
So
there was a two-part question, right?
yeah, it was when did you start and where's your favorite place?
Oh, I say I started as a kid, just never grew out of it.
Yeah,
it. Every rock was a cool rock when I was a kid.
that's right. Cactus Dan Man. Cactus Dan Man said, what is the cactus you are most proud of in your collection? And you can have a couple that you love with a winky face.
Oh man, let's see. I've got a really big, about 3.5 foot tall crested myrtillo.
Mm,
And I've had that for a long time. It's one of the ones I've had for the longest. Yeah, it's a nice big fat dinosaur looking plant. It's probably definitely one of my favorites. Um, a lot of my copia poa I've had. The ones I've had the longest are probably my favorites, simply because I've had them for so long.
sure.
Um, I have specific groups of cactus that I like better than others.
Mm,
I'm not sure if that counts, but I
yeah.
definitely like Astrophytum if that's part of that. And I've got quite a few. I definitely have a lot of those. But definitely that large crested myrtillo is probably my favorite.
Yeah, those are fucking cool. Shout out to Psychedelic Ninja. That's his like favorite cactus, I think. I'm wearing his shirt and his button right now on
Nice,
this podcast. But that's his
nice.
favorite. I always think of those. And those are really cool. They're like
Yeah,
aliens.
it's definitely the one that everyone notices when like they come to my yard.
Mm, mm, cool. How long did you say you've been collecting cactus?
Well, I've probably had cactus for probably 15 years that
Very
I've been
cool.
like having plants. But I said I've been moving around a lot, so it was never a real collection until like the last maybe 4 or 5 years.
Mm, mm. You have a greenhouse, right?
I do have a greenhouse. I have a small little 6x8 greenhouse out there.
Cool, man. And some
Uh,
outdoor grounded plants too, right?
Oh yeah, I put some. I'm definitely getting brave with some of the stuff I'm putting out there. Some people were telling me I shouldn't do it, and I do it anyways.
Like what?
But like the Stenoceras Benicki, I
Mm-hmm.
grounded with those guys. Some of the more sensitive euphorbia, I've got a bunch of Bursera I grounded, Microphylla and Phageroides. So hopefully when it rains, I don't lose them.
Is that what the concern is? Like rot or
It they'd rot pretty easily. So
mm.
I've got them kind of like I created some like rock mounds, and like I kind of up off the ground a little bit. So we'll see if that helps.
Do you have them
But
like filtered light at all? Do you put
oh
cloth
no,
over
they're
them?
just in the back. No, I have no shade cloth back there. Just a tree that's gonna be gone soon, hopefully.
Mm. Okay, cool. Cactus Dan man, who would you love to hang out with in the cactus community? Perhaps somebody you've never met. I don't know, something along those lines.
Um, Honestly, like I've met a bunch of people so far, and everybody's been super rad. So I can't say there's anybody that I want to meet more than anybody else. Like I'd
Mm.
love to meet everybody. Like the meetups are super rad. It's almost a little overwhelming, like getting to meet everybody. Like you kind of you forget people's names and you just call them by their handle.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but no, I mean honestly, like if I got the chance to meet everybody, I'd meet everybody.
It's a tough question.
It
And
is.
I saw you say one time on an Instagram post that you haven't met a cactus person that you didn't like, which is, I can't agree more. 100%.
Oh no, like everybody's super generous. They're super nice. Like everyone was like so willing to share like their knowledge and like, oh, I've got this extra thing, take it.
Yeah.
Like everyone's super cool. Like I said, yeah. If I got the chance, if everybody's invited, so like you can all come over.
Awesome. Yeah, it's something I really appreciate because now there's been 40 people that have come onto this podcast that are willing to share an hour of their time, be vulnerable in front of God knows how many people, and like tell their story, and show their face and all of that. I appreciate that because I'm not sure that in other communities that or cultures or hobbies that you could necessarily find that many people that would want to
Um,
come on and do that. You know what I mean?
yeah, totally. Yeah, a lot of people like a lot of the rock hounders I know, they're very secretive. Like they're not going to tell
Yeah.
you where they go. They won't tell you like their favorite place to go hounding. They won't tell me. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
so no, I totally get it. But yeah, no, the plant community is like totally like, yeah, here, like this is what I know. I found this out. You guys should all know it too.
Yeah.
Like
Something
it's great.
unique. And we're all fascinated. I can almost guarantee you that any plant person listening to this is just as fascinated in the rocks and the fossils too, because we're all earthy type people,
Oh, totally.
you
Absolutely. They
know?
go hand in hand. Like
Yeah.
if you're potting up plants, you've got a pile of rocks somewhere that you use for those plants.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's how I even like learned what agate is from buying it from GT Nursery. Like I'd heard of it, I think, but I didn't have any. I'm more of like a crystal person, but I'm starting to become more interested with the fossils and
Speaking of
mineral of these.
GT, like that's how I kind of started getting to know everybody. I took a bunch of garnet and stuff down there, and Oscar bought it from me.
Mm,
Oscar bought a bunch of petrified wood for me and a bunch of agate and stuff I collected. And then he went and he's like, you know what, I'm going to expand on this. And then he went and started getting it from other places, which, great for him. Like it was awesome because now
mm.
more people can get these things. I love it.
I wonder if the agate I have is from you. It was a while ago.
Uh,
I bought it
yes, it
a
could
while
be
ago.
like there's a chance.
That's cool, man. I like that you're sharing that. And yes, Oscar has done a big thing for this community for sure by having that space,
Oh, absolutely.
by putting on those events and bringing us all together.
Absolutely. No, Oscar is who I've met a lot of the people that I've met on here through, like
Yeah,
going to his events and just hanging out at his nursery.
yeah, for sure.
So,
Okay, Cactus Dan Man with some more questions. Where would you like to see plants and habitat? So I guess somewhere
oh
you've
man,
never
let's
been.
go to Madagascar.
Madagascar.
I've been to Australia, so I've already kind of done that, and New Zealand, but Madagascar is like my place to go. Yeah, I'd love to go to Madagascar.
Mm,
That's probably my top three places in the world I need to visit right now.
yeah, cool. So how was
Specifically,
Australia?
like the nature part of it, like the plants that are only there, that completely endemic to Madagascar,
Mm,
that are disappearing. That if we don't go see now, we might not get to see in 15, 20 years. So
mm.
that's number one. That's an easy one.
And now is that climate related or poaching related? A combination of both?
Probably both. I'm sure
Mm,
there's a lot of poaching. I mean, I don't really pay attention to all that. I don't follow, the whole poaching thing. I
yeah.
mean, I do follow the news for like the climate change and all that. But I'm sure it is a combination of, well, people do want these plants that only come from there, and they're they know they're hard to get, and running out.
Yeah. How was Australia? Did you do
Uh,
some rock
that was
hounding?
super rad. Not a whole lot. I was mostly just there like to visit friends and like I kind of hung out. I was there for about 3 weeks,
Mm,
and it was probably one of the coolest places I've been to. Real lot like there's no cactus there,
mm,
because cactus are only from the Americas. Other than the Apuntias that we took down there and now are super invasive all over the place.
mm. I didn't know that. Okay. That's
But no,
interesting.
that's a super cool place. And then New Zealand was a little more tropical. That was a more tropical place, so not a whole lot of desert type cactus there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Desert type plants.
Trichocereus is very prevalent in Australia, which is obviously not natural, but I know that they have a big Trichocereus San Pedro community.
Yeah, they do. I follow quite a few of those guys. I talk to them sometimes, and yeah, no, they've got some pretty good collections out there. A lot of different trichocereus. But yeah, no, the cactus aren't native to there, so they're all imported. And unfortunately, I don't think they can get a lot of those things now. I think their government is kind of strict on some of that stuff, as far
Yeah.
as like mailing it in and mailing it out.
Yeah. Now they have Australian cultivars and stuff that you can only get from Australia and vice versa. You got to order it from there, so they've
That
been
oh yeah,
breeding. Yeah.
it's the whole island evolution. That's the microevolution thing there.
Mm, cool, man. Favorite online or in-person cactus nursery? Cactus stand, man.
Um, you know what? I really like going down south. I like going to M&J Nursery.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's down in Vista and Gnosis. Gnosis is probably my favorite place to go. Dean's just a great guy, super knowledgeable. Always has like a great plant selection to choose from. So that probably be my top two right there. And then
Mm,
GT's in there, only because Oscar's cool.
yeah.
His place sucks, but he's cool.
I haven't had the pleasure of going to Gnosis, but I did have somebody indirectly reached out and was like, "Hey, I talked to the guy, I guess Dean at Gnosis, and he'd be interested in talking on the podcast if we could refrain from certain things." And I don't remember what it was, but I'm super interested in talking to him, and I would love to go see that. Where is that exactly?
He's out in Ramona. Yeah, Dean's a super interesting guy, super smart guy, like really knowledgeable. Yeah, he's somebody you'd love to have on the show for sure.
Very
Uh,
cool.
I would definitely love to listen to him, what he has to say.
That would be rad. Yeah, I'll try to get that going. Let's see. Big Cactus Rescue. What's up, Martin? He said, "What's your favorite Slayer album?"
Oh man. You know what? I listen to all my music all day and I don't really look at what the names of the songs or albums are, so I couldn't tell you like what is what, unless like I actually like stop and look at it.
Hmm.
So I can't answer that. I can just tell you that I just rock out all day. Um, I couldn't give you like a specific song title or album that I'm going to choose,
Hmm. Hmm.
unfortunately.
So you like music, but you're not like one of those people that reads all the lyrics and knows
No.
the titles of
Um,
everything.
so the music is mostly like for when I'm doing things. Like I need music in my background because if I don't, I can't focus on what I'm trying to do. Um,
Hmm.
so I need to have music at work and I need to have like constant music, or else my mind starts to wander. And it's
Hmm.
part of that whole ADD thing.
Yeah.
So like if I have something I have to get done at the house, like I have to have music on. Like if I'm just hanging out and like I want to just mess around, like it's just nice, quiet, me here.
Hmm.
But no, I couldn't tell you names of like certain albums. Even like my favorite bands, like Bad Religion is my favorite band. I couldn't tell you half the names of their albums.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, so I couldn't tell you a Slayer album if I tried.
But you find it to be grounding. It sounds like it keeps you.
Totally.
Yeah.
Uh, and I'm starting to branch out to a lot, a lot of different things right now. I don't know, a lot of things are kind of working their way in, and I really like it.
Mm, mm. And what's on the agenda here? Like what do you got going on right now in the
Uh,
life of Freeze?
um, well, I got a girlfriend now, and that's super rad. Like,
Nice.
and couldn't tell you how long it's been. I've been single forever, like almost
Really?
6. Yeah. I got my dog now. Like that's awesome. Like I couldn't tell you how long I've been wanting a dog of my own. I had a dog a long time ago, and that was just ended unfortunately.
Yeah.
I never wanted to get like in that situation again where I had to move with a dog and keep moving with a dog. So now I got my house, I got my dog, I got a girlfriend. Like life's going pretty well. Got
Nice,
my
man.
rocks, my plants.
It must be someone special to have broke that 6 year run of being single, man.
Oh, I totally made her pot up plants with me and everything.
That's right,
She was
dude.
down.
Cool.
Like she was totally down.
Yeah, I saw you guys have been doing some hiking too.
Oh yeah.
That's cool,
She's
man.
pretty cool. I definitely like her a lot.
Rad, rad. I got another question. I got a final question for you
Okay,
from
final question.
T Rex Plants. She said, "What's your favorite type of rock?"
Oh, aquamarine.
What
Like
do you?
if you're talking like gemstone, or you're
It just
talking
says
like
it says rock. Let's hear them all. I want to hear them all.
I definitely got a thing for the blue rocks. I like my rocks blue. Like aquamarines, definitely do it for me. Like a nice deep blue aquamarine, like the blue fluorites. I really like the blue fluorites. I don't know. Azurites. For some
Yeah.
reason, blue rocks really get my attention.
Hmm. What about cactus? Did the blue? Do you like blue cactus too?
Um, like I said, the astrophytums would probably be my go-to. Is like, ooh, I want to check these out. Like, that's the group I'm going to go to first,
You got
just because of the variation.
okay.
Um, but yeah, favorite rock. Oh, I do have my absolute favorite rock. I actually have it right here, and it's not blue. It's kind of hard to see its color. This is a Veracruz amethyst.
Wow.
And it's actually got a bubble inside of it in here. You won't be able to see it on this video, unfortunately. So it's a anhydro Veracruz amethyst. It's probably the most precious rock I have. It is my absolute favorite rock of my collection, if I had to name one.
Hmm. I would have never guessed that that was an amethyst.
It's a very, very faint purple.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's what the Veracruz amethysts are known for. It's that really nice light purple, almost pinkish color.
Hmm. The reason why I had circled back to the cactus was because I was wondering if the blue had carried over. If you liked blue, if you had like a thing for blue cactus, because I do. I know a lot of
Okay.
people do.
I have a few blue cactus, but it's not like my thing. I would definitely say it's probably the Astros.
Okay. So do you wanna spend the next 15 minutes? Do you have some stuff to show?
I've got a few things here, totally. If that's cool.
I would love to hear all about it, man.
So let's go back to like this big old smoky quartz here. So this actually got some garnets
Dude, it's cool.
on it.
Super
I don't know
cool.
how well these are showing up in the video.
Looks good to me.
But yeah, you can totally tell where it was like removed from the matrix. Like this is where it grew in its pocket. And this is where, you know, it's fully terminated at the top. Nice flat termination, almost tabular. I'd imagine if it was complete, it'd be kind of a flat crystal instead of a more round hexagonal one.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, these smokies with these quartz, you know, you don't typically find them this size material. This is almost a pound, so this is a pretty good, nice little crystal right here.
Oh
I
yeah.
gave Mikey Lowe's Magic a good one, a nice one like this, and a nice like actual, you know, long hexagonal crystal shaped one. He told me he was making a big old pendant out of it. I really want to see it, so hurry up with that, Mikey.
Cool.
Um, I've got this guy here, which is another really nice one. So it's double terminated. It's got lots of, I'll turn the light here. You can see these little like calcite
Mm,
blades on the sides.
yeah.
I got lines this whole side here, the whole inside, and it's got some nice purple fluorite squares on the bottom.
It's fucking gorgeous, dude.
But yeah, no, this is another good size specimen crystal. Like these are the inside crystals. These ones don't go in the plants outside.
Mm.
So I've got a nice big ammonite here. So and a lot of people have seen me take these guys places. I definitely have a lot of these for trade if anybody's interested in these. These guys are a dime a dozen to me. So if you want one, let me know. I'm happy to share these with people.
Now, where does that come from?
So an ammonite, it's a fossil. You know what a nautilus is?
No.
The creature, a nautilus, it's got the shell and it kind of swims backward. Looks like a squid shoved in a shell.
Okay.
You know, well, millions of years ago, most of the creatures looked like that. You know, these little snail-like, you know, crustacean creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And like these mass die-offs, they all fell to the seabed and like kind of fossilized at the same time. So you find them in big groups sometimes, or you just find them singly like fossilized. But yeah, you'll find big groups of them all stuck together, fossilized. They're pretty cool. I really
That's
like them.
really cool, dude. Now,
And then
is it finished? Is it
you slice
finished?
them. I mean, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Is it finished? Like, is that how it naturally
So
is?
it was
Or
sliced in half.
okay.
It was sliced in half and polished.
Okay.
And that's what a lot of people do because they have these like crystal pockets, like where like the pockets of the shell would be.
Uh-huh.
Right, there's these crystal pockets that form. So I have a complete one here that's not cut, and this one is a little different. It's got a little more like ridge design, a little more like dendritic designs on the side. But this one's not sliced, so this would be one that's just like polished on the outside.
Huh?
Who knows what it looks like on the inside? It could have pockets. It might not. You know, you never know.
It looks like a fucking lobster or something. It's crazy looking.
So this would be how they would swim. They swim this way, and like this little creature would be like out here, and it'd just be like swimming along, like
Wow.
tentacles sticking out. And then I have a couple of my rock pots in here as well. Like you saw the small one. Like I actually just made this one the other day. Making these little small wedge ones for like these little small cactus, these little small specialty guys that like the wedges.
Mm-hmm.
They grow in like crevices. So I thought I'd try a few of those out. And then I have a bigger one here that I've actually had for a long time.
Whoa. Dude.
This is probably one of the first ones I ever made. So that cactus is pretty well established in there. Like I can't get the roots out. They're pretty well tangled into the pot.
Permanent housing.
Pretty much. And I've kind of learned that once you establish a plant in one of these, they're not coming out easily. Their roots go right into the cracks and kind of fill them in, which I kind of enjoy. I think it's a cooler thing now. Like they kind of make themselves part of the pot.
Yeah. Dude, I can't believe that was your first one. It came out so good.
Yeah, it's one of my first ones. I would say it was probably one of the first three. Yeah, it was it came out so really well. I was like, yeah, sorry, I got to keep this one.
Yeah.
But the first other two I gave away. I gave one to my mom and then one to my friend.
Very cool, dude.
But yeah, that's all I got pretty much.
Well,
I
I'm
definitely appreciate you having me on, dude. Like, I've been getting to hear like all my friends do it, and it's super cool to hear them and like learn a little more about them personally than like I knew just from our Instagram conversations and just hanging out at nurseries for 15 or 20 minutes. It's definitely a cool thing that you're doing.
I appreciate that, man, a lot. It's funny to me because before we started, I told you I was taking this geology class, and you're like, "Oh, you probably know more than me, bro." I don't know. You could have to break everything you just told me into layman's terms, man. I'm fascinated by it, and your knowledge is very impressive, dude.
Oh well,
Very,
thank you.
very
I was
impressive.
actually super like concerned, like, man, I'm gonna get on here and sound like a dummy.
No, bro, you killed it, dude. That's great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, man, I absolutely loved it. Thank you so much. If everybody could, or no, where can everybody find you?
Friezomatic. Or and from there you can find, if you want to check out the rock pots, there's a link to my freeze forms page there.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, other than that, you can find me at like the nurseries pretty much on the weekends.
Now, do you only offer those like via DM, or do you have them listed or custom orders?
I have a couple custom orders that I'm working on.
Okay.
They're not anything that I can do like quickly, especially if it's custom order and like you want specific colors. Like I
Mm.
got to kind of pick through rocks and find things that fit.
Mm.
But if like I do have a few that are just done and ready to go, and they're just kind of hanging out.
Hell yeah, man. I would love to
And
see them.
I post them as they're done, and people message me. I actually have them for sale at Gnosis.
Okay.
Dean allowed me to set some up there some time ago. So if you're ever down that way and you want to check them out, they're there as well.
Very cool, dude. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. And I would love to get together one day, dude. I feel like we'd have a great time, man. And
Oh,
especially if
absolutely.
you could show me some rock spots, I would love that too.
Oh no, totally, man. I can. There's easy places just like within like 30 minutes of where I live, like just within these hills between the houses that you can find stuff in, and people don't even realize it.
Very cool. Do you ever
So,
use Google Earth to like find spots?
oh, absolutely. That's how I find my way to these places when I'm walking back in these hills.
Oh wow.
I just kind of screenshot it because there are a lot of times I know I'm not going to have reception.
Uh-huh.
So I'll Google Earth like a far out picture and then like a couple small closer ones. And I'll just kind of flip through them as I'm like hiking through the hills to make sure I'm in the right spot.
Hell yeah, dude. Now can you tell like what may be deposited there sometimes by looking at Google
Not
Earth?
from Google Earth, but
Okay.
typically like you know where you're going, you know what you're going out there for. It's just a matter of finding the spot.
Mm. Mm.
Like a lot of the places in these hills have like old abandoned like silica mines, which are quartz.
Mm.
You can find little pieces of quartz, small chips, and nice little rainbows in them, and little pieces of smokies and stuff like that. Like people are like I said, I could probably walk 20 minutes to the hills from my house and find something
Mm.
if I just
That's
dug
cool.
around for and I was tenacious enough.
Uh, I'm curious, as like a closing question, what are some of the common like rocks, stones, minerals, crystals that you can find here in Southern California? Like what are the most
Uh,
prevalent?
well, in like San Diego, like northern San Diego County, there's some pretty famous tourmaline mines.
Mm.
Like they're called the Tourmaline Queen, and the Ocean View mines. They put out a lot of really good tourmaline, and you can actually do pay digs there. You can pay, it's like I think it's like 70 or $75, and you can dig through like their mine tailings, and you find some really nice stones. I've taken my mom to do that because I wanted to make sure she found some stones instead of just making her walk for hours in the desert.
Oh yeah.
And we found some really nice aquamarines, some really nice, really large like terminated quartz crystals. Some people next to us found some really nice like fully completed garnets. It's a really cool time, but it's all private land out there. A lot of those are claimed, and you can't just walk out there and dig.
Mm.
You have to go out on BLM land if you want to like do your own digging kind of thing.
I see.
And that's where like really just like it pays to do your own research and kind of know what you're looking for instead of just walking around and hoping you find something.
Right. Totally.
Um, but yeah, there's I said abandoned silica mines you could easily go to. Like they're not hard to get. There's roads to them.
Mm.
You don't got to climb through rocks or anything to get to them.
Very cool, dude. Well, I appreciate your time, man.
Absolutely.
If everyone could please like, review, and subscribe to the podcast and hit that share button, I would appreciate that. Friezomatic, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.